Oh, I think we're good now. All right. Welcome back to the Milk and Cookies podcast. This is the super amazing podcast. It has absolutely everything to do with American football and nothing to do with Milk and Cookies. My name is Alex. Just me today. Still haven't been able to figure out what all happens and how to get more people onto the stream, but it's going to be okay. It's just me talking football for the next however long I feel like doing it today. So if you weren't on last stream, if you weren't here, if you watched it at all, it went pretty well. Good intro into just kind of the basic stuff. So now, we got a lot going on the past couple days, huh? Actually, past 2 weeks, honestly. The divisional games were fantastic. If you haven't watched those videos already, go ahead and give those a check. Went from 8 teams down to 4. 3 of the 4 games won on a last-second field goal. And then the Bills-Chiefs game ended on a overtime touchdown. Overtime rules kind of need to be a little bit tweaked, though. I'm glad that Kansas City won. Don't get me wrong, but they need to change. But as always, if you got a question, go ahead and leave it in the chat. Got a comment, got anything you want to discuss about, just let me know. Anything conference, anything football, anything at all, honestly. And I'll do the best that I can to answer it. So, without further ado, let's kind of get into some of the stuff that's transpired over the past couple of days. Where do we start? There's been a lot. I think the best one to start with would be Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll yesterday signed with the Giants to be their new head coach. One of the many head coaches that is going to be on. Where is Anthony? Anthony, unfortunately, could not make it on today. He is at Gasparilla, but he should be back soon. Or he might pop in throughout the stream in the chat. But unfortunately, just me for today. But Anthony hopefully should be on the next one. So, yeah, Brian Daboll got hired, which is honestly better for the Dolphins, honestly, for the Bills. What is it? Nathaniel Hackett got hired by the Broncos, which means Aaron Rodgers might actually be a Bronco. Anthony said that, Frankie said that, and I believe Leon's believing it. I'm still skeptical. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to go to the Broncos, but 3-1. Typically, I'm wrong when everybody's stacked against me, so we're going to see what happens there. Other than that, let's see. The biggest news, I think, of the week has got to be this. Tom Brady is going to retire. Tom Brady's done. What? How many years has he been in the league? 22 years, 7 Super Bowls later. He's done. Like, isn't that fantastic? Like, I can't be the only one that's excited. Like, Tom Brady's done. Like, Tom Brady has been in the NFL longer than I've been alive. I just turned 20 years old last week, and he's been in the league 2 years longer than I've been present in this planet, or on this planet, I'm sorry. So, it's weird to think that Tom Brady is done. He's no more. He's gone. 20 years with the Patriots, 2 years with the Bucks. Didn't have the best ending ever. Not really one that you want to end well on. Not like Peyton Manning, where he retired right after he finished the Super Bowl. But better than Eli, right? I had to say that. Better than Eli. Eli finished by being benched and then retired. But you know what? Here's one thing I will say about Tom Brady. You have to respect him. As much as I hate to admit it, you have to respect the guy. Honestly. I mean, how do you win 7 Super Bowls over the course of a career? 7. Like, this isn't even like a team. Like, this isn't just, a specific team. This is a player. Tom Brady has won 7 Super Bowls. That is more than 30 or 31 NFL teams in total. And the only one that he's tied with is with the Patriots that are also at 7. So Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots. 6. And then 1 for the Bucks. So the Bucks are at 2 Super Bowls. The Patriots are currently at 7. So Tom Brady ties the Super Bowl amount with a team with 7. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. So anyway, aside from Tom Brady, aside from Aaron Rodgers, aside from the Packers choking in the game before they always do, let's move on to the meat. I'd say the real good portion of what this entire live stream is about, and that's going to be the conference championship games. 4 teams, 3 of which I did not expect to be making it this far. The Bengals, I thought Tennessee was going to beat them. The 49ers was not expecting the Packers to choke. The Payo, it's good to see you, man. Welcome. The was just actually about to talk about the Rams. The Rams beat the Bucks, honestly, which was surprising. Not really. I had a feeling that the Rams were going to beat the Bucks. The Bucks were losing so many pieces, and the Rams have been steamrolling lately. So it was about time. I'm glad that Matthew Stafford has finally been able to push forward, has been able to get over the barrier that was what the Detroit Lions were. And I'm glad that he's actually putting some of that talent to good use. So, Bayo, congratulations. Honestly, well-deserved. I would love to see the Rams in the Super Bowl. I've called it since preseason. I called it Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl, and I would love to see that be the case. So, what's it called? So, yeah, the Bengals I never expected would have gotten this far. The 49ers, I was not expecting getting this far either. Also, not the best feeling as a Dolphins fan because we have their first-round pick. So, not really going too well either. Speaking of which, Rams upset the Bucks. I feel like everybody kind of knew that the Bucks were going to lose, or at least wanted the Bucks to lose. Especially me, I wanted the Bucks to lose. I wanted the Rams to win, and then the Chiefs and the Bills will probably better be one of the best games throughout the week. Honestly, I would say that would be my second best game. I don't know. No, that would be my favorite game of the week. The Bengals game was good. Really low scoring. Defense showed out. But the problem that I had with the Bengals game was this. 4 field goals, 1 touchdown offensively for the Bengals. And for the Titans, it was, a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, a field goal, with one of them was a missed 2-point conversion, I believe. If I remember correctly off the top of my brain, which was last week, a long time ago. But I think that was the case. 49ers upset Green Bay at Lambeau. That alone is a treat in of itself. Nobody would have expected that. I never would have expected that. So 49ers are also kind of going on a warpath as well. They're going to LA. They've gone to the Rams that they've beaten twice already this year. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be, is the powerhouse team, the Rams, going to be able to make it to the big game, or is the underdog going to make it? And honestly, it's the same thing with the Chiefs. Is the powerhouse team of the AFC going to make it to the big game, or is it the underdog? I will say, Frankie isn't here, so I can speak freely about the Bengals, but I can speak freely about the Bengals whenever I want. I will say this. As much as I like the Bengals, I love Joe Burrow as a quarterback. Jamar Chase was the better choice, not Penei Sewell. Again, if you've seen throughout the season, definite offensive rookie of the year, Jamar Chase is going to win that hands down. And if he doesn't, then it's rigged. I don't think he's going to beat I don't think the Bengals have enough to beat the Chiefs. The offense is fantastic. Their defense is stable. But the Chiefs' offense is a leg better. And their defense, honestly, I say the Bengals and the Chiefs' defense is about the same. Both have different strengths. The Bengals, I would say, I would have the Bengals secondary and the Chiefs front 7. I think that would be a nice, good, maybe Trey Hendrickson. Give me Trey Hendrickson on the Chiefs D-line as well, and then I think that would be the best case. So, but honestly, I've seen so many reports throughout the week of, I want the Bengals to win because it's Joe Burrow. I want the Bengals to win because I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes' family in the Super Bowl, which, understandable. We all know about Brittany and Jackson. But I'm not going to lie to you guys when I say this. I think the Bengals are good. The Bengals have surprised me, and they've surprised a lot of people. I think this is where the Bengals are just going to take that dive. I think the Chiefs are a better team overall. I think they're going to get them. I think they're going to do this. I think they're going to do that. It's going to be a close game like it's been the entire time. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Who do you want as the Finns head coach? Oh, man. That's a fantastic question, actually. Goodness. Now that... Let's see. Brian DeBolt got hired by the Giants. He was one of my more preferred candidates. The big 3 for me is Kellen Moore, Mike McDaniels, and Brian DeBolt. Now that Brian DeBolt's out, I'm going to have to say, honestly, I want Mike McDaniels. I think Mike McDaniels will be a fantastic fit on the Dolphins, honestly. Mike McDaniels is a running game genius. I mean, look what he did with the 49ers. He had Raheem Mostert. He goes down with a season-ending injury. You take a rookie 6th-round pick and you turn him into a guy that ran for almost 1,000 yards in his rookie season. I couldn't tell you the last time. Well, James Robinson. But I can tell you the last time that a rookie had such a fantastic career like that. I mean, he proved himself that he's, the featured back for that team now. Now, you can call it luck, call it whatever. Mike McDaniels is a genius offensively. Jimmy Garoppolo is not one of the strongest quarterbacks, but McDaniels has made Garoppolo look, honestly, in certain cases, like a top 10. Now, for granted, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and that offensive line is already fantastic enough. But the fact that McDaniels has been able to keep the 49ers in games that they shouldn't have been able to stick with, Again, they beat the Cowboys. Yes, they beat the Cowboys, who had the number 1 ranked offense. If every current NFL... Wait, let me just finish this thought and then I'll get there. But yeah, long story short, I'll take Mike McDaniels. If we get Kellen Moore, I'll be okay with Kellen Moore, but I want McDaniels. If every current NFL player competed in a 10-mile obstacle course that invokes running, swimming, climbing, and a series in mind testing puzzles, who would win? Wow. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's a tough one. If every current NFL player, all right, so that's the key word is current, competed in a 10-mile obstacle course. All right, that invokes running, swimming, climbing, and a series mind testing puzzles. Who would win? Oh man. Well, everybody that's watching the stream right now, I want to see your guys' answers as well. So you guys put your answers in as well if you have yours. I need to think about this because the thing is that running, swimming, and climbing is all physical, but then the puzzles is what's kind of challenging here. Is what you really got to think about it. Let's see. You got to really look back on people and how they scored on with the Wonderlic test and everything. But also, that's difficult. I mean, who's fast? Oh, Cooper Kupp. All right, yeah, that's fair. That's a good answer. That is a good answer. Cooper Kupp. Yeah, Cooper Kupp has seriously surprised everybody. He certainly surprised me. I always liked Cooper Kupp. He's always been a good wide receiver, but for him to have such a sudden, spontaneous season that he's had this year, honestly, it's been fantastic. But again, it's Matthew Stafford. He did that with Megatron. Doing that with Cooper Kupp, I mean, he had the second most receiving yards in the season, so that's pretty good. Goodness. Running, swimming, climbing in a series of... You know what? All right. If I'm going to be biased, I'll take Jalen Waddle. If I remember correctly, Jalen Waddle had one of the higher Wonderlic scores on when he was drafted. He had one of the higher ones in the wide receiver draft class and was ranked, I think, in the top 20% overall. He's got speed for sure. Climbing, I'll say so. So I'll take Jalen Waddle, but I'm seriously going to need to think about that if I'm going to go larger than questions like that. Or interesting pick. Yeah, it's an interesting pick. I honestly couldn't think of anybody else. Goodness. And that was a curveball. That was a good one. Thank you for that. Man. All right, well, here, I got a question for you guys now. All right, so there's 4 teams left. Oh, now I actually got to think about this. 4 teams left in the playoffs conference: the Rams, the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the 49ers. Now, goodness. I mean, I can ask who do you think's going to win? That's a pretty blatant one. That one can be biased. That one can be this. So tell me who you guys think is going to win the Super Bowl out of the final 4 teams. And also, give me a team that didn't make the playoffs, did make the playoffs, that has surprised you this year alone. Good surprise, bad surprise, any kind of surprise. If you could pick any current head coach in the NFL to give you dating advice, who'd you pick? Oh my God. Okay. Gotta think. Rams winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, I can agree with you on that one. Either Rams or the Chiefs. I like the 49ers. They got a good team around them. I don't think they have what it takes to make it to the final. Bengals, I'm not too sure about the Bengals. So I say Chiefs or Rams. Rams, honestly, I would pick. Okay, head coach. Let's see. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to head coaches all that much, honestly. I don't know. The Browns. The Browns surprised me with the drop off. I agree. I certainly agree. I would have said that the Browns would have made the playoffs, especially after last year. That they won the division, maybe. No, I don't think they did. No, no, because the Steelers won the division, Browns won the wild card, and then they beat the Steelers at home. Yes, that's what the case was. But I agree. Browns surprised me. They fell off bad. They really fell off bad. Baker Mayfield is now a big question mark. Nobody knows what's going to happen with him. Other than that, let's see. I honestly was convinced that Odell Beckham Jr. was a complete bust. I thought he was washed. I didn't think too much. I didn't think too highly of him at all. And now he goes to the Rams and he looks like what he used to be on the Giants in that rookie, his second year, maybe even a little bit of his third year. The Rams have helped revitalize OBJ's career and turn me from a disbeliever into a believer. So I'm glad that he's actually getting the proper coverage that he needs. I'm not going to lie. I'm happy about that. But there's nobody else really on the Browns that's worth mentioning. I mean, they have some great players, and it's surprising me that they're not able to be bigger contenders. I mean, they have arguably, in my honest opinion, they have one of the best edge rushers in the entire league, that being Myles Garrett. Honestly, like, you know what? Like, bully me all you want. I would personally take Myles Garrett over TJ Watt. Not by much. It's going to need some convincing. I would take Myles Garrett. I think Myles Garrett is a much bigger threat. Either that, they have Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb. I mean, Kareem Hunt is their backup. Their backup running back is Kareem Hunt. I mean, Jarvis Landry. I mean, even their third stringer, Dearness Johnson, had that one game where both the other first two were injured and out on COVID, and he still had a 100-yard game. Gosh, I couldn't. I think that was against the Broncos. All that time ago, which feels weird to say. But no, I completely agree, Peo. Honestly, Browns fell off. But on the flip side, one team that surprised me entirely would be the Raiders. The Raiders surprised me as well. They started off 5-2, but then again, I also believe that that's just the Raiders being the Raiders. We always know that the Raiders are always notorious for having a fantastic first half of the season, and then something happens to them. Something always happens to them, and then season gets derailed. But unlike the past unknown amount of seasons, their season was slightly derailed, but not enough for them that they couldn't make the playoffs. They had the Henry Ruggs situation, the Damon Arnett, where they had to cut him. John Gruden got fired. And you know what? Like, they didn't have a great second half of the season. They finished 5-5 with 10 games. They finished with a 10-7 record. Now, the thing is that 5-5 on paper is average. But when you add that to the beginning of the year, 10-7 is playoffs nowadays. Unless you're the Dolphins. But 10-7 is almost guaranteed playoffs. So credit to the Raiders, honestly. I do believe that the Raiders need to gut the team. I am a strong believer that the Raiders need to gut the team. I say, you know what? You have to trade away Derek Carr for a lot of draft picks. Keep Darren Waller. Darren Waller, you should focus around Darren Waller because that's going to be the best chance that you're going to have to accelerate a young rookie quarterback. Gut whatever talent is on that defense. Keep Hunter Renfrow. He's young. He's doing great right now. But honestly, I say gut that team and rebuild. The Raiders, since, well, they won the Super Bowl back in 2001, 2002, 2003. I couldn't tell you what year it was. Since then, they've had some good seasons. They've had some bad seasons, but they've never had any great seasons. A lot of seasons that they've been average. A lot of seasons that they've been 4-12, 5-11. But what John Gruden did his first year when he gutted that team, he traded away Amari Cooper, traded away Khalil Mack, and everybody thought that he was crazy. Everybody thought that he was an imbecile, that he was ruining the team. I was one of those people. And then you use your draft picks, and next thing you know, next season 8-8. Not the best, but it's always better. Then the next season, you look like you're going to make the playoffs, and you barely miss it. They need to do that same thing again. Whether they keep their current interim head coach, which I think they should give him at least 1 year to see what he can do. But the Raiders need to gut the team, honestly. I don't see anything else that they can do. So, thank you for the questions. Keep firing off those questions. I will answer them as I see them pop up on the screen. But all right, back to the conference game. So we have the Bengals at the Chiefs, and we have the 49ers at the Rams. My picks for the week, if you haven't already watched the conference pick video that we have posted, I think it was yesterday, Friday. Give me the Rams, give me the Chiefs. But at the exact same time as I say that, I'm going to put a little asterisk next to it. I think any team, any two of those four teams that play is going to be a great Super Bowl. And let me explain. Let me explain here. Okay, so just to start off, Chiefs, 49ers, repeated the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Chiefs, Rams, repeat of the regular season game from 2018 where the final score was 54-51. Give me what? The Bengals and the Rams. Joe Burrow, a second-year quarterback playing in a Super Bowl against a team that has everything. I mean, the Rams are loaded. Von Miller, OBJ, Weddle came back. He came out of retirement. That was very undermentioned, severely undermentioned. And honestly, who's to blame when the Rams are 2 feet away from a ring? If they're going to take you on, you might as well take them. And then what's the other one? Bengals, 49ers, the two underdog teams. I had the Bengals winning the wild card against the Raiders, and I had them losing against Tennessee. And the 49ers fans, please don't come after me when I say this. I didn't even have the 49ers beating the Cowboys. I had the Cowboys beating the 49ers in wild card weekend. So now you have a team that I have discounted the entire playoffs, and I will still discount them. I still think that the Rams are going to win. So I'm sorry, but I'm still picking the Rams. So you have those two teams that have been great, but underdog teams. That Super Bowl alone is going to be fantastic. I mean, I don't really know what else to say here. Honestly, I mean, it's not the Patriots. It's not the Bucks. It's not the Packers. I mean, the big teams that, like, nobody necessarily wants to see play again. I mean, who wants to see the Patriots play again? Even though they don't have Tom Brady, who wants to see the Patriots play again? And even the Bucks, no offense to Bucks fans out there. I mean this in the nicest way possible. But, like, who wants to see Tom Brady play for another Super Bowl? Nobody wants to see Tom Brady play for another Super Bowl. I don't want to see Tom Brady play for another Super Bowl. You kidding? I feel like every single year that I watch football, I've seen Tom Brady in some form of fashion. Always. Whether that be him playing the Dolphins twice a year on the Patriots or even Tom Brady being in my backyard when I used to live in Central Florida. Oh, I'm tired of Tom Brady. And even the Packers. You know what? I love the Packers. I love Aaron Rodgers. I love Adams. I love Lambeau Field. I think Packers have every right to, be proud of their team as they are. But you know what? Packers have made, excluding this season, for the past 3 seasons, they have made it to the NFC Championship game every year for the past 3 years. And they lost all of them. What happened? So last year they lost to the Bucks. But the year before that, they lost to the 49ers. And the year before that, they lost to the Rams. And then before that, I think they went like 6-9-1. And that's when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Yes, I think so. We're just going to say so. But there's just some of this going on. Like, you know what? I would have liked to see the Cowboys make it further than the wild card. But even that, I would have liked to see the Cowboys make it to the Super Bowl. Their team is stacked. Offensively, they're stacked. Their defensively, they're great. Micah Parsons, that entire D-line. Trayvon Diggs when he's not getting burnt. I mean, like, let's be real here. The Cowboys would have also made it an interesting Super Bowl. But I think the way that they are now, honestly, out of the 4 teams, I don't have any allegiance to any of them. I don't have any feelings towards any of them. I don't really want to be like, oh, I hope this one wins specifically. Honestly, I'm just a backseat fan just watching the games and just having a good time. That's how I'm seeing it. But yeah, I mean, tomorrow's the conference games. They'll be very good. The AFC conference game is the 3 o'clock game, and the NFC is 6:30, I believe. I want to say it's 6:30. Eastern Standard Time, of course. Eastern Standard Time. I'm saying that as I'm currently in the Eastern Time Zone. What else? What else is there to address right now? Let's see. I don't know. I don't really know what else there is to address. If anybody has any questions about anything football related, be my guest. Please leave a comment. I think we're pretty much done wrapping up at least the conference games. So yeah, if you have anything regular season, please be my guest. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now we can start talking about head coaching and everything. There's still a lot of vacant spots. The Vikings are still looking for the only teams that have made a splash head coaching is the Bears, the Broncos, and the Giants. Yeah. Those are the only ones that made the splash. Matt Nagy got fired. Now they replaced him with Eberlus, whatever his name is, the defensive coordinator former defensive coordinator for the Colts. The Packers lost their offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, to the Broncos. And the whole point, honestly, I don't really know how I feel about this, but I would say I would wholeheartedly believe that the case is that the Broncos are going to try all out and go for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think the Broncos are a quarterback away from winning it all. I think they're a quarterback away from making the playoffs. So, you know what? Let Aaron Rodgers play for the Broncos, honestly. Let's just see what happens. I will see. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't retire, I don't think he's going to retire. I think he's still got a couple years left in him. Give him to the Broncos. Give him like a 2-year deal. $60 million is probably what he's going to ask. Just see what happens. Young wide receiver core, a top 10 tight end, defense that has been fantastic, underrated corners. Patrick Surtain II has been very underrated. I haven't heard almost anything about him since he got into the league. But who else? What was the other team that I mentioned? Oh, the Giants. The Giants hired Brian DeBoer. And they had their new GM, Schoen, whatever his name is. Joe Schoen? I don't think it's Joe. But something Schoen. Who said that they're committing to Daniel Jones? I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. I don't think Daniel Jones is the answer. You guys have had him for 4 years now. Hasn't done anything. I don't even think that the Giants have had a winning record. Maybe. I'll have to look back on that. Don't quote me on that. But that's just what I'm going off the top of my head. But also, just, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Saquon Barkley is completely injury prone. Kenny Golladay did not work out. Sterling Shepard, keep him. Kadarius Toney is a young wide receiver. I think he's going to have a big second-year jump. But you put so much time and effort into this offense to have Daniel Jones go down with an injury and to have Mike Glennon take over? Mike Glennon? I haven't heard about Mike Glennon since he was a Buck. And even then, he did not do well either. Mike Glennon. Why would you rely on that guy to be your second string? You should have at least had Jake Fromm in there. Worst case, you would have looked at him and been like, hey, we can build around him. He hasn't done too terrible. But no, Mike Glennon. So, but aside from that, just going to completely ignore Mike Glennon. So what teams still need a head coach? There are the Vikings, the Dolphins, the Jaguars. I think they haven't committed to their interim, or I think they got rid of them. Technically, the Raiders still need one. I think they need to go with their interim. Who else? I know I'm forgetting another team. I'm forgetting a lot of teams right now. Not Atlanta. Carolina needs to move on from Matt Rule, though, if they haven't already. Oh, the Saints. Sean Payton just retired suddenly out of nowhere the other day. What's that about? I guess he was just done with football. You lose one of the best quarterbacks to ever play, and that being Drew Brees. And then what else happened to them? Had a losing season, a young quarterback that they're not really too sold on, that being Jameis Winston. Also, not to mention, you're $50 million over cap. So now you have to realize, what are you going to do? 50 million over. So now you got to either restructure contracts, cut people, do this, do that. Not to mention the amount of people that they have to re-sign already. Just be very careful. Watch the Saints. They're going to make a lot of trades over the offseason. I think the Saints are another team that need to do a full gutting as well. The Saints have had their glory days. They've had a good run with Drew Brees, but I'm not going to lie to you when I say I think it's time for the Saints to just gut the entire team. Keep Jameis. You need to get rid of that contract that Taysom Hill is under. I don't know why they agreed to that contract. Cam Jordan, I'd say get him out. I'd say trade him away. Give him to a team that might be able to give him a ring if possible, or if not another ring. Who else is on that team? Marshawn Lattimore. He's young. I'd say keep him. I don't know what's happening with Michael Thomas. I think Michael Thomas needs to decide if he's going to keep going into the league or not. I haven't heard anything about Michael Thomas since 2019 when everybody called him Slant Boy. So they need to figure out what they're going to do with Michael Thomas. Other than that, let's see. We talked about the Saints. Talked about a lot of other teams. Okay. Let's talk about the Seahawks for a second, actually. Now that I realize that, now that we're on the topic of head coaching and quarterbacks, the Seahawks finished 7-10, which was bad, but not nearly as bad as what they were trailing towards, to then have a quarterback that is a MVP candidate for the first 6 weeks and then just goes flatline, and then a head coach who, Pete Carroll, who has won a Super Bowl, and either he's just really missing a lot in free agency and drafting lately, or there's something wrong. Because the offense the offense didn't look like it needed, life support, but it did. And the defense was better, but worse at the same time. If that makes sense. I mean, you have two guys that led the league in tackles, top 5, that being Jordan Brooks, who was a good first-round pick, and Bobby Wagner. And honestly, Bobby Wagner is going to be one of the best linebackers in this league until he retires anyway. So what else is there? But on that defense, you have Jamal Adams, who I haven't heard very much about lately, but I know he's been doing better, and he's getting more accustomed into that defense. But honestly, other than that, I could not name you another person on that Seattle defense. Likewise, on the offense, I can name you multiple people on the offense. Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Gerald Everett, Chris Carson, DJ Dallas, the backup, I can see, is Rashad Penny. A lot of good. They have so many pieces that it's not making sense that they can't add up to it. They can't add up to a playoff run. They can't add up. They can't make the right moves in free agency because they have no money, because they paid Russell Wilson a lot. I just don't understand it. I don't understand what's wrong with the Seahawks. But then again, NFC West fans, it's probably looking best for you because you had 3 of your 4 teams make it to the playoffs, which is amazing. That's fantastic. I don't think any team in the AFC had more than 2 teams. AFC West had 2. AFC South had 1. AFC North had 2. And the East had 1. Wait, no, 2. 2, 2, 2, 1. Yeah, 7. Okay. Whoa. It's a Saturday and I can't do math properly. What else, But no, the NFC West did great. 3 out of the 4 teams made it. I couldn't tell you the last time that 3 out of the 4 teams made the playoffs. Now that, there's 3 wildcard teams, it is possible for every team in a division to make the playoffs, that being the division seat and then the 3 wildcard seats. So I guess let me just finish with one more thing, and then I guess we'll be good from there. The conference games are going to be great. I'm not going to complain to you. I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say that. I think Chiefs, Bengals, and Rams, 49ers, I'm not going to say it's going to be as good as the divisional. I think the divisional round is possibly some of the best football I've ever seen in my entire life, especially in the playoffs. I don't think it's going to be that good, but I think it's still going to be just as good. Like I said, if you're curious about the rest of us, Frankie, Leon, and Anthony, about their picks for the week, go check out the videos. Anthony and Frankie did a really good job at going over what all happened for the divisional round, and then also the predictions. So it's a good chunk of time that you'll have to dedicate to watching, but it's worth it. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I picked the Chiefs. I picked the Rams. I feel like I've said that like 15 times throughout this entire stream. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll probably get another live stream next week to go over what all happened during tomorrow, and then also Super Bowl preview. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, like, subscribe, leave comments, do whatever you can, do whatever you need. But yeah, thank you so much for watching.